No, man. Okay, so back to these guys. Michael Jackson, man. Really? Now, Michael Jackson had a lot of turmoil, so we're not gonna
Right.
act like this is just the greatest guy in the world who died
Right.
with nothing, no
He
complications
had-
at
yeah,
all. No, he died with a lot of tragedy.
He had a lot of issues going on in his world, and
Yeah.
but the thing is that obviously everyone's mourning. I think more so everyone's mourning the loss of someone with a lot of talent who I can easily say touched a lot of people.
Worldwide, man.
Worldwide. I mean, 'cause we grew up with the guy.
Yeah.
Our generation grew up with him, and we watched his career, just skyrocket to where he's become this phenomenon.
Well, think
of a
about it. It was,
person. I
it
mean,
was
it's-
our generation. He touched a generation before us.
Before us, when he
And
was
then-
a kid.
Yeah, when he was, and then he still lingered to today,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody knows Michael Jackson. I mean, this is a guy who is truly a musical genius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, his father had to beat it out of him, but
Right,
but,
which is the true tragedy. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get into his family life, he wasn't he wasn't singing any high praises about his family.
No. I mean, I don't know his dad. I don't know how much of this is true and how much of it isn't, or anything
Right.
like that. But it's not like he had a hard childhood. But man, this is a guy. Look, you could talk about all the troubles that he had. You could talk about his appearance, but this was a guy who truly was a hero to several different generations. Now, maybe he didn't save any lives. Maybe he didn't go out and volunteer himself all the time. But I mean, hey, he did create music that
it touched people all over. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
really did. I mean, and
he was inspiring, man.
and I mean, I tell you what, you would not know that until realizing, like, after his death, like, how important he was to a lot of people. Where you have, like, I saw that, like, somebody had I don't know if it was a video or prisoners honoring Michael Jackson's death. Like, you saw convicts. There was like a poster of Michael Jackson,
Oh,
and
man.
they were just praising this guy. And you see people like I saw some videos of people finding out the news of Michael Jackson collapsing.
Oh, yeah.
and just the outcry of people who just were just shocked.
I mean,
that somebody like him passed away just because you just don't believe it. I never thought in our lifetime we'd ever hear the words Michael Jackson dead.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect it because I thought Michael Jackson was already dead. I thought he was, I thought that fool was walking around.
Right.
I thought he had outlived himself. Like he
Yeah.
was some sort of Frankenstein monster. I thought he was like stitched together and still going. I thought he died years ago.
Right.
When you heard about his face falling apart, I was like, that's it, man.
Yeah.
That dude was some kind of sort of zombie. They electrocute his ass every night to bring him back. Every night they got Tito in his room. I'm like, it's alive! It's alive!
Tito's doing it because he ain't got nothing else
Ain't
going
got nothing else to do but keep Michael Jackson alive every night. Him and Igor.
him and LaToya.
Like I said, him and Igor. Dance! But nah, man. But he was. I mean, look, he inspired you. If nothing else, he gave us good times. I mean, that music, that wealth of music he gave us for the parties that we had, the clubs.
I thought you meant he gave us Good Times, the TV show. I was like,
Yeah, man.
no,
you
he
remember
didn't.
Good Times? He produced that, didn't he?
No.
Oh no, that was his sister on there. His sister
Yeah.
was on there.
Janet
Yeah,
Jackson was
yeah.
in Good Times.
So
yeah.
maybe he did.
She was Penny.
So
yeah.
maybe he did give us good times in a way,
see,
indirectly. At least
if
he gave us a part of it. He
he
gave us
banged his mother, which I don't think is the case.
Hey,
That was-
knowing him,
Hey,
he-
he's not from
who-
Waco, Corey.
Who
all right?
knows? Who knows what's going on in that family? But no, he inspired people creatively. I mean, you looked
Yeah.
at him.
He gave me Thriller. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean,
Well, that's what I mean by inspired you creatively. I mean, I looked at Michael Jackson was one of the people that I looked at. I might not be a dancer or a musician, but I'm looking at him. I'm like, this is the guy that you look at because why is he successful? Because not only is he very talented, but he created just a whole new way of looking at dance.
Right.
I mean, when he did the moonwalk.
he revolutionized the music video too. I mean, don't forget that. I mean,
That's
shit.
what I was about to get in.
Yeah.
I was about to get in that. When we saw him do the moonwalk at the music awards, nobody had seen that. And I'm like,
No. Yeah.
that's what you do. You can be successful, but to actually innovate, create something that nobody's done before,
Right.
do something differently, that is truly inspirational. He was one of those guys. Thriller. Now I don't know if that was his concept. I know John Landis directed that, right?
I want to say that was like a team effort with those two. I think it was a good part of his idea, and John Landis, I think, helped him develop it.
But at the time, whoever saw a video that long where there was a story at
No,
the beginning?
that was the funny thing is I remember the premiere of that, and it was it was one of those things where you assumed you were going to watch just a kind of generic video, but when you saw it, it was a film. You were watching a film, and it was great. I mean, it had zombies, for crying out loud. I mean, it had Vincent Price. I mean, you're just like, wow, this is incredible. And the thing is, like, I think after they premiered that video, they were showing it like on a rotation. And you kept on watching it. You were just transfixed into watching that video every time it popped up. To this day, when they play it around Halloween, I mean, it's not like I turn the channel when I see it. I'm basically just in a trance watching that video, and I'm always hoping it's the long version.
Yeah, you got to see that. I mean, every Halloween, that is a fixture of Halloween now.
Yeah,
Thriller.
it is.
I mean,
and if it is now, it's going to be a staple. They're going to be having Thriller parties every Halloween.
Oh no, it was, and they already do. They have the Thriller dance off every year. I don't know how many years it's been happening, but they have that, and it's like, and look, I don't know if we ever thought about this. We never saw anybody get eaten or anything, but think about it, man. For the time, that is one of that's a cool zombie movie, right?
No,
it is. That's one of the greatest zombie things that we have.
It is. I mean, just the images of the zombies coming out of the graves. I mean,
and then when those fools start dancing, you're like, shit, boy, they're dancing, they dancing.
My favorite part is that one zombie at the end that looks headless, and he's
walking away.
And he like puts his hand over his shoulders, like it's awesome.
And then the Vincent Price zombie comes up. Yeah, I love that laugh, man.
That laugh's classic.
I can't do
it. There are tons of great moments in that video. That's the awesome thing about it. I mean, it's the fat zombie walking, like coming in while the zombie's coming in towards the girl. The zombies coming out of the sewers, it scared the fuck out of me.
Oh man, they most of them were people in costume, but they put some effects in there. Do you remember like the zombie that was rotted and looked like a skeleton coming out of the mausoleum? And it was like, wow, man, this is a fucking cool ass zombie.
That shit looked like something you see in like a Tales from the one of the EC comics, Tales from the Crypt. Those covers. I mean, they brought that shit to life. I mean, I was like, wow, man, the imagery of zombies walking out of a cemetery looked amazing.
Jesus, and Michael Jackson gave us this, man. I remember at the time we weren't even satisfied with Thriller. Like we had to have we want more. They gave us the making of Thriller, and we watched that shit like it was a video.
Oh, and I tell you what, when I found out, obviously when I heard, just like everyone else, about his death, because honestly, I'll get into how I noticed, because I was hanging out and I was screwing around on the internet, and then some friend of mine were going off about, oh no, they're saying Michael Jackson is dead. So I went to go check, because I was just like, this is bullshit, and I think they had just found they found him he wasn't breathing. Yeah, but it wasn't official that he was dead, and I was honestly hoping that, I hope he's okay, and I don't even know where that came from. I mean, despite hearing about all his problems, and he was getting ready to go to court about the charges.
What?
That's what I thought. Yeah,
I heard he was just getting ready for a tour.
Well, he was getting ready for a tour, but apparently he was having legal problems still. It seemed like there was just a bunch of stuff piling up. Now, this is something I read. It could have been wrong for all I know, but when I heard that something was wrong with him, I was worried, and I was like, well, he'll be fine. And then you keep hearing reports. TMZ was reporting. TMZ was the first.
I was about to say,
they were the first to say that he's dead.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because that day, that's the first place where I heard it from. Is TMZ. Somebody called me and they said, TMZ, can you believe this shit on TMZ? They're talking about Michael Jackson is dead. I'm like, goddamn TMZ, man.
Right.
And I went on
I
there
was
and
the
looked
same
at that
way.
page,
Yeah.
and I was like, they seem really sure about this. And I'm like,
Right.
well, fuck, man. Say what you will about TMZ. They got that shit first.
They did. And the thing is, even reading that, of course, you're going to, I'm sure everyone was doing their internet research, trying to find out what was the latest news. And eventually, at some point, I think the LA Times, put out the official announcement that he was declared dead.
Yeah, when I first went to TMZ, I was like, I can't believe that TMZ got this first. So I kept refreshing Yahoo News, or not Yahoo, but Google News, and Google News took a long time to get it up, man. I mean, it was actually on TV. I forgot who reported it first, but it was on the evening news before it was actually anywhere on Google News. They kept saying he was sick.
Yeah. Well, I was looking on. I clicked the CNN. And there's a live feed on the internet, and yeah, eventually they had announced that, according to the LA Times, that he had died. But I tell you what, after that announcement, about 15 minutes later, the internet was shut down. Yeah, and I couldn't get on the internet for God knows how long. And I guess here it was like around 5 o'clock, 5:30 or so.
Yeah.
And nobody. I was calling up friends to see if they can get on the internet. They're having problems getting on the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's just one of those things where everyone around the world was just on the internet trying to get the news, to find out if it actually was going on. And it was crazy. It's crazy to think somebody's death can shut down the internet.
If it's Michael Jackson and shit, I
Yeah.
mean, and today it's weird, man, because 50. Everybody says 50 is too young to die. I remember.
Oh yeah.
Back in colonial times, you were lucky to live to 30.
Right. Right.
But 50, people's like saying, "Wow, man, that's really young." And
Well,
by
now-
today's standards, it is. I mean,
But now, granted, you got to realize that it's been reported. It's never. I don't think any official words ever come out. But apparently, he's had health problems for a while, and God knows, right now they're speculating if it had anything to do with any kind of medication he was on. As far as concerning his death. I know the family's been fighting to try to get a second autopsy done. I don't even know if they released about anything about what they got out from that first autopsy. But the rumors I keep hearing is that the day of his death, he was dancing. He was apparently doing some work for the tour.
When was he not
and
dancing? You mean he didn't get up out of bed?
For Michael Jackson, I'm sure that's a regular thing. But
Brushing his teeth.
Yeah, but God knows, the guy's been hospitalized before for overexerting himself, and on top of that, if you throw in medication. But then again, it's all rumors and speculation.
It's all rumors, but let me be honest with you, man. I don't mean to be cruel here. I really don't. But when I heard he was dead, I was not surprised at all. I really was not. And I'll tell you why, because it wasn't like I said, I knew it. It was
Right.
like, no, I was just a surprise. When I say not surprised, I wasn't shocked. Because I was like, wow, Michael Jackson's dead? Oh, man. I did say, I can't believe that. But deep down inside, it was no shocker because all that surgery, man, I was like, how much medication has been through your body? I mean, not even that you're taking right now, but how much stuff has been pumped into your body to the point where it has kind of done something to your system?
Yeah. But then again, I mean, as far
I don't
as
know,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it had anything to do with the surgery at all. I mean, I thought he just, that's the thing. You have no clue about what exactly was going on with his face and his skin condition. Like he claimed that it was some kind of strange skin condition that he had for why he was, why his skin was, the pigments in the skin.
But
I mean,
then,
you never know. Yeah.
But even then, at that point, it's kind of like, man, okay, the skin thing, I don't really buy, but but even if it is so, okay, I understand that. Maybe it's true. But that face, man, it was like, I don't begrudge anybody for getting plastic surgery. If you don't like your nose, fine, change it. But there's a point where you stop.
Right. Well, the thing is, a lot of people claim a lot of people like to think, and it makes sense to me that his dad was like a good reason why that was going on.
Made him
it kind of fucked up his head.
Low self-esteem.
Yeah, because his father used to fucking harp on him. Well, from the stories I've read, and I've heard, I keep hearing it from.
It was too big, Michael.
You keep hearing it from his family, especially LaToya, where she came out and she was like, yeah, our dad used to give Michael shit all the time just for being just ugly, and as far as his nose being too big, and and he was too black. I mean,
damn, man,
he used to get all kinds of shit.
Michael Jackson was a good-looking guy in Thriller, and at that point, I said, he does not need to do anything else.
Right.
I mean, looking at that, it's so sad because it's like, wow, you look good, man.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's no need to do what you did to yourself. And I mean, think about that's why I love time travel movies, man. Think about time travel movie where you took the picture of Michael Jackson today, and you went back and told somebody and said, what do you think this is? People looking like show a picture of somebody like, what do you think this is? And people like, Shit, man, that's from the new Star Wars movie. That's a character from the latest Steven Spielberg monster film coming out. You know what the fuck? That's
E.T. Part 2.
I know that's from Close Encounters. That's from the aliens from Close Encounters with a Jerry curl. What the fuck is going on with that? Like, no, it's Michael Jackson. No, man. Yeah. Technology ain't gone that far. It's like,
well, hell, just show little Michael, hey, this is what you're going to become, dude.
You can't find Michael Jackson. You got to stop him. Somebody should make a movie where you go back in time to stop Michael Jackson turning into what he did today.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe that means, getting rid of his father, or locking away his father for life. Apparently,
we make a Terminator movie where we send a Terminator back to kill Michael Jackson's father.
Yeah, right.
Are you Mr. Jackson? Think how many Jacksons are dead in the city. You know
what was the guy's name? Was it
Joe Jackson?
Oh yeah, Joe Jackson. Yeah. I'm looking for Joe Jackson. I was wondering if you could help me, please.
Yeah. Is your name Joe Jackson? They got the wrong Joe Jackson. Oh, yes, sir. I'm pow. Yeah. Cause you remember he killed every Sarah Connor in the Senate before he got to the real Sarah Connor, the one he was looking for. Yeah, he's killing every Joe Jackson in the city. Are you Joe Jackson? Yes, I'm Joseph Jackson. You must die. I must say Michael.
Tito comes back as the goddamn as the metal that the Tito 1000
the liquid Tito
liquid Terminator. Jesus,
he doesn't talk. He just says everything. Little things here and there. I know this hurts.
Oh man! But getting back to his father, I mean, I've always felt hearing those rumors. Granted, like I said, I heard him so many times. You can't help but realize that maybe it is true about how his dad fucked up his head and gave him this super fucked up complex about himself, and you just felt sorry for the kid, realizing that he's worshipped and adored by the industry, by people all over the world, but and it's still all that doesn't matter to his father, who still gives him shit. Or who still just cripples him by telling him these fucked up things that
he's one of the most
the kid doesn't want to hear.
He's the most successful entertainer in the world. I mean, by recognition. I mean, he's known all over the world. He's had probably the most influence on pop music ever.
Right.
And he's unhappy. He's confused and unhappy. I mean, even to the point where Neverland, the whole incident that happened, Neverland Ranch. I mean, I'm one of those people who thinks that he did not molest a kid. I think he just did something stupid. I think he just wanted to relive a childhood so bad that he was having slumber parties.
Which is stupid, yeah. I mean, I'm in the same camp with you. Yeah, I think his intentions may have been, good, but the thing is that does not make a good story. What is a grown ass man doing, hanging out with a bunch of little kids? Yeah, exactly, and. But the thing is that any kind of child molester, you realize they've been doing. Usually, child molesters do that shit for years. I mean, years and years until until they get caught.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this guy was surrounded by child stars. I mean,
for years.
For years. And you think if anything were to happen, if he were to do anything as far as any kind of ideas of molesting children. It would have happened a long time ago. These kids who are grown up now would come out and say, you know what? Yeah, he touched me in a weird way. Or there was an awkward situation where this had happened, but you never hear those stories. And regardless, it's easy to say, well, they're not going to say anything because it's Michael Jackson and nobody's going to believe them. But no, I mean,
let me bring this up too. In that story where the mom got involved in that case, I believe with the child molestation, and the whole thing was paid off. Now I know if it was my child, and this is the kind of person I am. If my child had been molested, no money. in the world would pay me off to let them go.
There's no dollars. There's no amount of dollars. There's not
a price tag on my kid's safety like that.
Or that's going to help them, when they grow up living with this. Somebody had done this to them.
I think I would resent my parents if they took money and I said, never went after this. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Just to make a story out of it. Now, a lot of people, you never know what you do when you're in that situation.
Right.
I mean, maybe when you're presented with that much money, maybe you will just run off and say, hey, I'll take it. But I believe that me being in the news, I'm going to be looked down upon if I take money from Michael Jackson for my kid's child molestation that I claimed happened. I'm helping to push this in court.
Right.
I would take that money. I would say, you know what? okay, you got money, you got lawyers. I can't pursue this anymore. You're going to pay me off. I'm going to take the money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that money towards some sort of organization that fights child molestation. And I'm going to like make sure that people know that you did this, and they're going to know that I didn't take the money because I want them to know that it wasn't about money at all. It was about you doing something to violate my child.
Right.
And there's no way I would have taken the money and been like, oh, well, it's done.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything.
That's what makes it suspicious to me.
Yeah, and that's and I felt the same way. I'm like, wow, okay, that's you're giving some money and you disappear. You just walk away. We never hear from
bullshit,
you
man.
or your kid again.
Yeah.
You know. And granted, I don't know how that kid is now, but he can easily go and say, hey, I'm still not happy about how this thing came out because you know what, I have to live with this now. I have to realize that, you know, I don't care who this guy is, he's king of pop or whatever, but I was still molested. You know, this has affected me and it's affecting my life. It's gonna affect the rest of my life.
And you hear people going on and on. I mean, I think that if I was an angry mother, I would be still in the news. I'd be like, hey, look, we lost, we couldn't afford to pursue this case anymore or whatever, but we still believe he did it.
Yeah.
And I think people need to know that this man is dangerous.
Right.
But motherfucker's just gone.
Yeah.
You don't hear about it no much. She got her money. You know. Meanwhile, stepdad's probably molesting his kid. She's out there buying furs and shit. I mean, I'm joking, but you know, it's just so I don't believe he molested anybody. I think he's just a disturbed guy who was longing for a childhood and did some very stupid things.
Exactly. You know, because apparently, I mean, you look at his career and you're like, where do you make time to have a childhood? You know. You're surrounded by your family, but your family is very business oriented, and you know you have a father who's managing your career, and you know where do you find time to be a kid? Yeah, you know throughout that whole thing where every camera is on you. You know you're a sensation. People want to interview you. People want to get to know you, but you just don't have at that point you don't have time for a childhood. So you feel like you've missed out, you know?
And look, I'll tell you something too. It was also starting to show in his career that he was becoming a parody of himself. I heard some of this stuff from an album that never went anywhere recently. A lot of people forget, like Leon was the only one that's going like, that album's great. And even then he had to say, because he bought the album. I didn't know there was an album out. Leon told me he bought it. He's a huge Michael Jackson fan. If you ever seen Leon dance, he can dance just like Michael Jackson. It's incredible. He was at a Christmas party where he showed.
Does he dance like Michael Jackson, or is it Corey Feldman that he dances like?
No, it's more like Alfonso Rivera.
Okay.
Dancing like Corey Feldman, dancing like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
But no, he went to a Halloween party. That's what a Halloween party. Why would he go to a Christmas party dressed up like Michael Jackson? He went to a Halloween party dressed up like Michael Jackson, and he was out there dancing his ass off. We were like, damn, you know.
Did anybody go, hey, look, it's Tito?
They said it's Corey Feldman. But he shaved his beard and shit, but his goatee. But
yikes, he did that.
Yeah, he did all. Yeah, he went clean shaved, had on a Jerry curl wig, and came out there with some flooding shorts, some flooding jeans on, white glove. But no, that was a great costume. He went off. But no, he released an album not too long ago, and I never heard about it.
I never heard of it.
He fought it. He fought. Who released that album? I forgot who was writing, who was fighting for the album. But he's like,
how old was it?
It was released. Oh man, you know what? I should look up the discography of Michael Jackson right now because I don't want to be sitting up here talking on my ass. But I know now. Here's the ironic thing. I think, and people correct me if I'm wrong. I think he found he tried to fight the promotion of that album, saying it was you're doing this because I'm black. It was like, oh, now you black. Oh, so today you black. All right. And hey, it's too late, man. You can't reverse that skin change right there. No, you about as white as
you're
fucking
going
rice
to,
right now.
Yeah. That's when the jokes start coming.
Yeah. No, let me see if I can. Find his discography here.
All right.
Because he did release an album.
Because I'm thinking the last one I remember was History, right?
It was
at least the one that an album he wanted out, right? And wasn't that more of a compilation? I wasn't too sure.
Okay. No, because you are thinking about the last one, 95 History.
History, yeah.
Okay. Okay. It was Invincible was his album in 2001,
okay. But it was released without his approval, I guess.
It was his 10th album.
Okay.
Let me look online here and see who released it. Because there was one song on there that I really like, It was a song about walking around in Russia or some shit.
Right. Granted, I'm really curious, like how many songs he actually did that were never released. Which I'm sure, with his death, I'm sure if any record company, if it works out to where, the rights to his music either go to his family or go to a record label or what, there's no telling what kind of stuff they'll start putting out as far as like rare tracks that he may have done or stuff he put on the cutting room floor as far as his music is concerned. So.
Oh man, yeah, it's considered to be they say that the reception to the album was favorable, but it's considered to be one of his weakest albums.
But he didn't want it released, right? That's what you're telling me?
I think he wanted it released, but he felt like the promotion behind it
was bad.
It was bad. It was Sony who released it, and he actually accused them of racism.
And why was that?
Because I guess he felt like, look, my thoughts on that is that he released the album. He didn't do as well as he thought, him being Michael Jackson. And the old fallback is playing the race card. See, people who always think I'm playing the race card, I'll bring up a lot of race issues. I will call it when the race card is being played foul. Yeah. And I think he just had no other fallback. He just, it's Michael fucking Jackson.
Right.
Who's gonna like have racism? Because what company who stands to make money off the King of Pop is gonna be racist enough to say, you made this album, we ain't gonna do shit with it because you are black.
Yeah, because you're Michael Jackson. Yeah. You're not relevant.
You can hide behind all that white shit you want to, but you still nigga inside. We ain't gonna do shit with this album. Nah, that's bullshit, man. Yeah, he tried to cry racism all these years of trying to turn white. All of a sudden, he's black on that day when he needs something. So fuck that.
You get desperate because shit ain't going your way, so you got to point a finger somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm sure Michael Jackson would never point a finger to himself and go, "Look, I'm sorry, I made a terrible album."
With that glove on it,
I did
it. You, hey. And that song I'm thinking about was not on. I don't think you're right. It was not on that album.
Okay.
I think it was on History. Yeah. Let me look at what songs on History right here. There was
Yeah, because I was curious if that was kind of like a half best of and a few new tracks or what.
Yeah. Stranger in Moscow is the song I'm thinking of. Because I didn't get History because, look, to be honest with you, Michael Jackson was somebody whose work was kind of becoming less for me. I mean, once people start promoting videos, because after Thriller, I mean, people start trying to promote his videos like they were like they were really great, and because it's Michael Jackson, they were those videos were iconic.
Yeah. But even Moonraker, which was an entire film, for crying out loud.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. You talking about Moonwalker?
I mean Moonwalker. Yeah,
Moonraker.
Yeah, that's James Bond.
Michael Jackson's the next James Bond.
I got confused.
But like everybody made a big deal about Martin Scorsese directing Bad. I don't get that video. I don't.
It's funny, because I always forget that he actually directed that video. Especially at the beginning. I mean, after Weird Al made his version of it, I always get those videos confused now. I always think like it's the fat guys who confront the actual Michael Jackson. Well, hey, ding dong, man. Ding dong, yo. Ding dong.
Oh, man. I love that. That is the best parody of a Michael Jackson thing I've ever seen. Besides Eddie Murphy doing his skit in Delirious. Fat is for Weird Al Yankovic. Is like Weird Al Yankovic. I'm not the biggest Weird Al Yankovic fan because you got these nerds who love him. But, But Weird Al's done some. That white and nerdy video makes me laugh every time I see this shit. That shit is funny. And then
you ain't fat. You ain't nothing.
But fat. I love the way it started. Like those fat guys walk out and like, hey, man, where you been?
Yeah.
We ain't seen you on Burger World lately. And the way he reacts is like, oh, around. And the guy like, ding dong, man, ding dong.
Ding dong.
And that other guy's like, hey, man, I know I got a slice of pizza around here. He pulls it out.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And then when they on him, they're like, hey, man, you ain't fat.
Yeah.
You ain't fat. And he's like, get off me, man. And the way he just does, he's so
you ain't fat. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. He's shaking his finger.
He keep the camera on him when he's shaking. And then when he starts turning fat, that shit makes me laugh.
I always love the fat Asian guy in that video. With the bandana, the headband or whatever.
Hey, man, if you have a Michael Jackson tribute, I'm sorry, but that has to be included in
yes,
that is a testament to you, Michael Jackson, how great you are.
That and Eat It, yeah.
And eat it. Oh, eat it.
My God. That's another video where I get confused sometimes.
But
I'm waiting for that rubber chicken to pop out in the actual video, the Michael Jackson version.
What part was the rubber chicken?
Where they're fighting they're fighting, but they have
they
forks.
got chickens.
Yeah, and they're holding the rubber chicken. You know, in the original they have their wrists tied around with a bandana. This one they're holding a chicken, one of those rubber chickens.
Boom. Woo! And every time that video came on, you thought it was Beat It. It ended up being like Michael Jackson's video.
Yeah,
and it ended up being Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and the one thing about that Weird Al, the version of Eat It, is where when he's breathing into the camera, I always thought that whenever I saw the Michael Jackson
and it got fogged up.
Yeah, I always wondered if that camera actually did get fogged up. But when you see it, you're like, yeah, it did happen. That's it. It really this is the real version. This is the unedited, real cut.
But man, I'm looking at Bad, and Martin Scorsese directed that, and so I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking. Okay, the video starts out, and a lot of people don't remember. Wesley Snipes was in that video.
Yeah, that's right.
And it starts out with him. It's a long intro like Michael Jackson had with Thriller.
Right.
And so it has him coming home from college. He's hanging out with his friends, and they're talking. His friends start getting all kind of crazy, man, because it's
they're
like
hey, street thugs.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, you think you all that because you went to college. Yo, you know, you back in town now. And it's like, and so I'm thinking, all right, oh, shit, we're about to have a confrontation. And then they're like, yeah, man, you ain't bad. You ain't nothing. And then they push him back. And you're thinking, all right, well, shit, what's going to happen now?
Right.
All of a sudden, the thing goes to color, and these strangers start, these guys pop out from behind these subway pillars, and it's like, and they all start dancing.
Yeah.
And then after they all dance, it's like, Wesley Snipes look at him and just walks off. I'm like, I don't fucking get this.
I know. It's like, this is like the new version of the Village People getting together and dancing.
It's the gayest thing I've ever seen, man. I mean, they had some cool things in there. Don't get me wrong. And
but when you start seeing guys like get to doing these dance moves where it's borderline ballet, you start to wonder.
Yeah, it made no fucking sense.
No, it made no sense at all. I thought, because honestly, I remember seeing the premiere of that video with a buddy of mine, and we're just like, okay, this isn't Thriller, but and then
and then he made people. You got to see some stuff Michael Jackson did, and then I remember Captain EO, and I went to see Captain EO at Disney World. I'm thinking, okay, this is cool, but it's just Michael Jackson. This shit makes no sense. It's in 3D. It looks cool, and Michael Jackson's a space captain and shit. But it's like, I don't fucking get it.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
like I thought it was like a half-ass like version of he was trying to do Star Wars meets God
the
knows
Wizard of
what
Oz.
else. Yeah,
yeah. And Angelica Houston was in that. You know who directed that?
Who?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he got these directors to like Michael Jackson was a bad motherfucker. He got directors to come out and do like stupid bad shit for him.
Yeah.
And then I saw Moonwalker, and I thought Moonwalker was great. And I looked at Moonwalker, and there were some things that were cool, but it all comes down to Michael Jackson hanging out with kids, dressed up in a white suit, trying to stop Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Who's
screaming and
like,
yelling
for nothing.
But
like,
for no reason.
This?
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson is losing it.
I
man.
thought it was just an excuse for Michael to live out his fantasy as far as becoming a transformer, because there's a whole transformation scene
that's
where
right. He turns into
he transforms into a robot, and then he turns into a spaceship at the end, and also a car. Yeah, he turns into like a Lamborghini or something.
Damn, that
craziness
motherfucker
like
was
that.
He was the lost transformer.
That was the first Transformer movie we've ever gotten. Yeah, right there. He revolutionized. There would be no goddamn Optimus Prime Michael Bay film if it wasn't for Moonwalker.
For Moonwalker. If it wasn't for Michael Jackson. The Michael Jackson.
Praise be Michael.
God damn, boy. And then I remember he came out with that album, I forgot what it was, but one with black and white on it. Let me see.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Let me see a discography here. It came out fucking in the
one with Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone.
Oh, that's right. He was hanging out with him.
He was in that movie too. Yeah.
Jesus
you figure if any kid were to get molested, it'd be that kid.
Dangerous. That's what it was.
Yeah, you think you would think if any of those kids were going to get raped at some point, it'd be Macaulay Culkin. He looks like a kid who's been raped. I don't know why, but
I'm looking at the titles of the albums. It's like Michael Jackson Bad, which some people might think because you think you molesting children. Dangerous, which you are not. It's like Bad. No, you were like the most girly guy I've ever seen. You ain't bad, you know. Dangerous. No, you were probably the softest guy I've ever seen. You can dance, but and Invincible. Well, we know you ain't that right now.
Which is the video where was it black and white where he destroys the car?
It was black and white. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. This is where
they edited
shit was not making any sense.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. You're making a video with the Home Alone kid, and then like in that video, all of a sudden there's just a scene where you're destroring a car.
Black and white was the video where it started out, and it was kind of cool because we had that morphing technology. Now I will admit that was cool. It's where he was saying about black and white. He had all these different colors of people who were morphing into each other.
Right.
Like he started with a black face and morphed into a white face.
That's right.
And he's like, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, Michael Jackson comes out and starts beating the fuck out of a car.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, this how and then you're looking at it, and you're like,
yeah,
how weird it can't get any crazier than this. And then he turns into a panther.
Yeah,
it runs.
That's right. He turns into a panther.
It is like this Negro has lost his fucking mind.
Doesn't he scream at some point? All the window shatters. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Michael?
Do you remember the In Living Color sketch?
Oh yeah,
Michael.
What's his name?
I can't remember the comedian, the skinny, the real weird looking skinny black dude on that show.
Yeah,
the one who didn't go on to make anything.
Yeah, he went on to make Booty Call.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in Booty Call. I can't remember his name.
I
but
can't remember. But
he's
still working. You know who he is? He's the voice. Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson.
He's the voice of the father in the Proud Family.
Oh, okay.
Which sounds like he's doing Eddie Murphy in a way, but he is good though.
Okay,
Proud Family's a good cartoon.
I'll always remember in that video where he tries to punch out the window
and he hurts his
head.
Yeah,
that's priceless, dude.
That window, he's like,
oh my god, that was
man, Michael Jackson.
But they had to as soon as that video premiered, there was a big controversy because they're like, what the hell is Michael Jackson doing beating up this car? And they actually ended up editing that part out as soon as it started to air continuously on MTV.
Why? You know?
Because some parents group or something thought that was just way too violent for television. So, and that's back when television was still crazy as far as shit they wanted to censor out, from music videos and stuff like that. And violence, of course, was a big no-no back then. And, I remember that being a big deal because, they said, this parents groups, I think, were upset because it was just nothing but violence. And MTV ended up editing that part out of the video.
Meanwhile, there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie shown on another channel, and nobody's complaining about that shit. But we get mad at Michael Jackson beating up a car.
Yep.
A car. Mm-hmm. There must have been like some car enthusiast group. It's like, you know who made that complaint? That guy who likes to fuck cars. That guy likes to have sex with cars. That dude got mad. Why is he beating up a perfectly good, beautiful, loving, sexy, hot car?
That was an Oldsmobile.
That car didn't do anything to anybody. I was gonna have sex with that car.
Looks like Leon's car.
After Michael Jackson beat it up, you look at Leon's car. I'm like, damn, where did Michael Jackson get a hold of your car? Was Michael Jackson here?
Yeah.
You turn and look down the street, Michael Jackson running away.
I tell you what, though, when I forgot to mention this when he died, I was like, oh fuck, I really wish I would have bought the Thriller DVD with the documentary because I'm sure all that shit is gonna be gone now. I'm sure a good portion of those DVDs are out of print.
Oh man, I was on iTunes, and iTunes the top 10 is mainly consisted of two things: Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. And the Black Eyed Peas, but it's like the Black Eyed Peas number 2. The rest of the list is Michael Jackson, and I think Thriller might be number 1 or something, or maybe I forgot something is number 1 that Michael Jackson did from a long time ago. But yeah, Michael Jackson. I mean, and then he did a video with Tyra Banks, and I remember looking at Fox.
Do you remember the time?
No, that's the one that he did with Eddie Murphy in it.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about the other model. The model who's married to David Bowie.
Yeah, Iman.
I think so. Yeah.
That's. I'm.
Do you remember?
Yeah, because they play the Gypsy, and she's like, "Bring me
in love."
Do you remember the time?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you think about it. Later in his career, he just
started getting crazy.
Having spasms. And like,
yeah.
Like he was scat singing when he was singing.
Yeah. Seeing Eddie Murphy as a pharaoh or whatever, it was strange.
That motherfucker started like he was like he was an autistic child or something. Like he was a robot.
Don't you remember?
I was waiting for him to start smoking. It was revealed he was a robot. Woo! Pow! His head just blow up. but no, later in life, man. No, yeah, I remember that video with Eddie Murphy and Iman, and see, it got to these videos where they're trying to make it an event.
Right.
And the last thing I remember, the last video where I said I give up. This is it. Michael Jackson is. I just don't want to.
His videos are at least dumb.
His videos are dumb, and they're just like any other video. At the moment MC Hammer goes out and makes like a fucking $1 million a minute video, which was lame, by the way. Then we're tired of those kind of videos.
Right.
He made a video with Tyra Banks. No big deal. Fox had one of the guys from 90210 on there trying to promote it, and he said. People are saying that this is probably the greatest video since Thriller, and it was nothing but him dancing in a fucking desert with Tyra Banks, and it's like this ain't shit, man.
No shit.
I was like, I give up.
Wow.
All right? I don't want my memory of Michael Jackson to be ruined by lame shit. Okay, I'm sorry, And really, Michael Jackson, he was great, but he just started kind of repeating himself.
Right.
As time went on, it's like,
well, I think just you had a bunch of people throwing him ideas, and it just. I think the problem was everyone trying to recreate whatever it was that made Thriller so great, but you just can't do that. The lightning doesn't strike twice.
No,
sometimes.
You see. Here's the thing with Michael Jackson, and like I said, I'm doing a sort of a brutally honest reflection of Michael Jackson because I love Michael Jackson. And
we all love him.
Yeah, we all. Man, I love Michael Jackson to death, and really, I can't sit up here and just be glowing of somebody without bringing up some of the bad things about their career. Then Michael Jackson, to me, this is what I was hoping for. I was hoping to see Michael Jackson grow. I don't think Michael Jackson ever grew.
Right. Well, you know what? I think the last really influential thing he did, and I think it may have been on one of his later albums. Maybe I was thinking it was on the Black and White album, but The Man in the Mirror, and I thought that was probably like one of his biggest videos since Thriller. Only because when Man in the Mirror came out, all it was is like, it was like a montage of,
powerful images.
Powerful images. And it had a big effect on, I think, when it was aired. I mean, I know they were playing that video in school. As soon as that came out, I mean, schools were playing that video all the time, in their 0-hour classes, and they were even playing it over speakers just because the song was so relevant and the message was so powerful.
That's what
I think that was the last time Michael Jackson really had a huge effect, as far as just his message and inspiring,
inspiring people,
inspiring people.
But but as an artist, to me, Michael Jackson never grew. Michael Jackson was, up until probably near the end. I mean, it was still woo, and it's like, man, as a musician, as an artist, you really do have to. You got to do different things. I mean, say what you will about Madonna. Madonna's known for reinventing herself as she gets older. Now, even her shit is kind of getting old. She needs to kind of take herself more seriously and do things. But you hear artists all the time who they adapt to their age.
Look at
they try to do things different. I mean,
can you make that argument with Prince?
I think you probably can, because Prince had the kind of music where it wasn't as much of a. I mean, let's face it. Michael Jackson created some great music, but his trademarks became a novelty. The sayings, the woos, and the shamones, and the dancing. I mean, it's always the same. Prince continues to do music of different types. I mean, Prince can do funk. Prince can incorporate jazz. Prince can
rock,
can do rock. Prince is truly a better musician than Michael Jackson, and he shows it in his music. And Prince continues to produce different people with different talents. I mean, they're not always big or huge or successful, but right now he's producing a girl who is somewhat of a jazz crooner, infused with R&B. So, yeah, I would make the same argument with Prince. You got some people who Kiss. People love Kiss, but they're parodies of themselves.
They are. No, they're living cartoon versions of themselves right now. I mean, they're that thing that they turned into that whole cartoon version of themselves that happened back in the 70s when you started seeing like TV movies about Kiss, and and they had the lunch boxes, and it's like they got on that reunion tour where they had the original members. And then they just started selling their souls even more to the devil, where they fucking had like Kiss lunchboxes again, Kiss comic books. They brought that back, and now they have Kiss coffins, Kiss ringtones. I mean, it's ridiculous. And of course, and now the original members, like the only original members once again are Gene and Paul and Ace Frehley and the drummer Chris. They're gone. Yeah. So
Peter Criss.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, they're raking in the money. You know, it's like that's fine. But even after a point, you got to say, you know what, I've had enough, man. So I mean, there's a lot of artists out there. I'm sure there's some hip hop artists that I know that have like grown, and they probably they've made the transfer from like, you know, hip hop to like doing other kind of music and shit. So it's like, yeah, man. I mean, as a musician, you do have to go and do different things, and if you don't,
it's hard. I mean,
you parody yourself. And Michael Jackson was at that point. If you really want to know my honest opinion, as much as I love Michael Jackson, I'm kind of glad that we won't get any more music from him because I do not want to see him continue to do the same thing, and I do not want to see him actually at this point become a parody of himself. I'm saddened and I'm relieved that this tour didn't happen because it could have easily turned into Michael Jackson would have sold out. Yeah, everybody would have loved it, but I really do believe it just would have been Michael Jackson trying to recreate the same thing that Michael Jackson was a long time ago.
Right. And I was curious, like, if they were even going to try, if with this whole tour, if, you know, that hinted at a possible album with the Jackson 5 again or what. But, yeah, I mean, it is kind of a bittersweet in a way that, you know, he was going back to, you know, where he initially started with his family, you know, getting on this tour and only for it to just end abruptly. Because, you know, part of me still like with certain movie stars, you know, I'm always like, I always hope that at least they have at least one more album in them that can at least redeem them or at least bring back that, you know, greatness that, you know, that they originally had in their career, you know, just for one last great album to happen, you know, granted, you know, it's rare that ever happens.
Yeah,
but
it is.
With Michael, at least, I like to hope so. Just so it could be a better kind of book into his career.
I mean,
you know.
look, if he was alive, I would remain hopeful. But given the pattern of things, it just didn't seem to be going that direction for me.
Right.
And that's kind of sad. But, you know, hey, man, look, Michael Jackson, one of the greatest artists out there.
Yeah.
It is sad. I mean, there is a void now that he's gone. You know, I know I said I'm glad that he's not making any music anymore, but it's like, look, you feel like you actually have a big empty space in our culture now that he's gone.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I thought you know, like anybody else, I was kind of laughing and shit, and like, you know, like, oh, Michael Jackson, of course I expected this. But when I thought about all the shit that he had done, even the shit that I didn't like I talk shit about Bad and all those things, but you still have fun memories of it.
Right. You know, the funny thing is, I was around a bunch of people who were making jokes, cracking jokes and stuff, and for some reason, like, part of me, you know, you expect me to be the you know, I'm okay, yeah, Michael Jackson said, I got 20 jokes for you. But honestly, I was just thinking, no, this sucks. I mean, wow. I mean, it's like I watched this guy, I watched his career. You know, that's the thing. We all watched his career as it just, you know, just skyrocketed, and he became he became bigger than life.
And it wasn't, and it just wasn't cool to see somebody just blow him off as merely just like a joke.
Exactly. You're like, you know, because you're like, well, look at what he did, and look at who you are.
Yeah,
I mean, what have you done?
Yeah.
I mean, how dare you? You know, but
I mean, just because maybe you weren't into his music, maybe whatever. But you know, I mean, and I'm not gonna like tell you not to make jokes. I've probably made jokes like
I didn't say anything.
You have. I mean, I'm not you. I'm talking about if anybody's done. I'm not gonna take the. I'm not gonna be self-righteous and tell you not to do that and shit. Cause I'm never like that with anybody.
Like I said, I didn't tell anybody when they were making jokes. I was like, hey, you guys need to shut the fuck up. You know, no, I was just like, well, granted, I'm sure a lot of people are doing that right now. That's because it's funny. But at the same time, it is kind of sad. You're like, man, this guy. I mean, shit. You don't know how he went. You don't know anything about what's going on. But it's like, think about all he's done. You know, he's been a part of everyone's lives at some point, where you could either remember the first time you saw Thriller or what you thought about Thriller when you saw it. You know, you can say the same thing about Billie Jean. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, like I said, he revolutionized music videos today.
He revolutionized music videos, and to just merely blow him off as like it's just a joke. To me, it just felt like, wow, man, you know, make all the jokes you want to. Maybe one as close to you as it was to me, but I mean, I'm not even upset. I'm just kind of like, you know, I don't know, man. I just don't find that funny right now.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, you're like, you know,
if you made a joke and then you respectfully came back and said, but wow, he was a bad motherfucker, but be like, Michael Jackson's dead. Hey, that motherfucker's gone. Like, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you know, it was funny. Like, one of those guys who was making the jokes, like, I remember like just kind of looking at him, and for a second he was like, wow, you know, he was looking at a photo with a news story, and he just kind of like, he just kind of looked like, wow, like he couldn't believe it. It's almost like a denial thing, which I kind of thought at first. I'm like, man, maybe, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I know nobody was close to Michael personally, but maybe it's just one of those things where you kind of laugh because, you are kind of a denial that it's actually going on,
I have to admit though, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I feel bad, but what made me feel the weirdest is that I think I told you about this before. There's a guy and people, I hate to bring up London again, but I mean this is true though. I don't know how I know how else to bring it up. When I was hanging out with this guy Mark and Rick, I brought them up before they were showing me. Now this is like a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before Michael Jackson died, and they showed me this video of this guy named Bo Selecta. And he does imitations of celebrities, and his imitations include grotesque latex makeup, and his imitations sound nothing like the people he's doing.
Yes,
I think I showed you that. Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so one of his most popular imitations is Michael Jackson. Now his Michael Jackson is wearing glasses, this weird, crazy looking face that looks like a chipmunk or some shit, a beard, a black beard. Michael Jackson don't have a beard, and he wears that coat and that jacket and that red jacket and that glove. And when he does his imitation, he sounds nothing like Michael Jackson, except when he goes like, "Shamon, motherfucker." And so he's like known for making Michael Jackson known for saying "motherfucker." And I thought this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. But for the last few weeks, whenever I've been like in a room by myself, sometimes I've just erupted into "Shamon, motherfucker." And I'm thinking that's my last memory of Michael Jackson. Not even being fucking Michael Jackson, but somebody doing an imitation of Michael Jackson. But yeah, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up. But as kids, I remember people just trying to dance like Michael Jackson. Everybody had that red fucking jacket, man.
I remember fucking everyone wearing when Thriller came out. And when he was doing the Thriller tour, I remember every fucking kid had a goddamn Thriller shirt, a Thriller T-shirt. Like when the concert came around their area, everyone went and everyone had a fucking Thriller concert T-shirt. I was like, wow, this thing is insane. It's like a cult, Yeah. But that's what I'll always remember. That's when I realized, like, wow, this guy is fucking. He's bigger than life. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, everybody had that fucking jacket. I remember being at a pep rally, and this was years after Jackson came out. I guess Michael Jackson was still doing stuff, but somebody had that jacket, and they was
red jacket,
red jacket, and this guy was so obsessed with Michael Jackson that he went out there. It was at a pep rally, and this motherfucker got up and just out of the audience and start like trying to moonwalk and Thriller dance at the pep rally, and he bumped into one of the cheerleaders and shit. And the principal, they grabbed his ass, they grabbed that jacket and pulled his ass out of there.
I was like, shit. Celebrities were fucking obsessed with that guy. I mean, hell, Eddie Murphy, he was sporting a red jacket for a while.
Eddie Murphy, one of those dudes who was talking about gays, talking about how gays are and making fun of gays, and hello, And what he do? He showed up in a fucking red leather outfit, not just the jacket, but he had pants and shirt all open and shit.
And even Corey Feldman. I mean, shit.
That's the one that got me.
Corey Feldman. Yeah, he was in a movie.
What was it?
Dream a Little Dream.
Dream a Little Dream.
Yeah, where there was a whole dance sequence where he was basically doing Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he lost his mind.
And there was no reason for it. And for some reason, I was like, is this actually written in the goddamn script, or did he just say, hey, I really want to pay homage to Michael Jackson in your movie. Please let me do this.
Yeah,
he had the hat. He had everything. And he was dancing like in the goddamn gym for no reason, doing Michael Jackson.
Well, I saw it was a night at the Improv or the comedy show or something. It was something he showed on A&E or some comedy show, stand-up show.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman was hosting. And he introduced himself. He's like, yeah, and he made no reference to Michael Jackson. He's like, yeah, I have something I've been practicing for a while now, and I just want to share with you. And everybody's in the audience, and they're laughing. And he's like, music, please. And then the music comes on, and he starts dancing like Michael Jackson. And everybody's laughing kind of at first, like, they wait for the joke. And then you can hear the silence, and you can almost hear collective thought saying, this motherfucker's serious. And everybody just stopped, and he just dancing his ass off, just, up there fucking beating it. Like, the fuck is going on with him?
I would kill to see that. Jesus.
If somebody can find that, please put it up, because I swear to God, this is the truth. I mean, because I was with my friend Adrian. You remember Adrian?
Yeah.
We watching that shit, and it was like, This fucker's out of his mind.
He's lost his fucking mind. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I think he used to hang out with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
No, yeah, he
did.
did.
Michael Jackson maybe was doing something to kids. You know, maybe he wasn't fucking them, but he was brainwashing asses. Because for some reason, whenever there was a popular kid, Michael Jackson would be the first one to show up and want to hang out with him.
Dude. Macaulay Culkin, for crying out loud.
When Macaulay Culkin's nuts dropped, he was like, "You got to go. Get the fuck out of Neverland." Once his voice got low, he was like, "Michael, get the fuck out of Neverland."
But then again,
what did I do?
But then again, I remember when he was hanging out with Brooke Shields. That was like a big thing for a little while.
Diana Ross.
Well,
a lot of people said he wanted to look like Diana Ross.
He was obsessed. Well,
and Elizabeth Taylor.
I thought he was just in love with Diana Ross. That's what it seemed like to me.
And Elizabeth Taylor, he was hanging out with.
Yeah, that too.
She came out saying
one
like
baddie, kooky ass bitch.
Oh yeah, she looked like a hound dog or something.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
but
all the people are fucking nuts.